Hey folks, it's Alicia. Welcome back to my channel, and this is video 2 of Thursday morning. I know, right? It's prototyping day. How am I making a second video? Because this is important, that's why. So last night, after my shower, I was like lying in bed and I caught this video from Lily, Crafting with Liller. And you know that girl always manages to touch my heart no matter what. But folks, this one was really special. Lily did something super generous of spirit, and I have to tell you, if there's any time that I tell you that Lily is a special person without ego, seriously without ego, this proves it. So this expert maker, there's a beautiful, pristine designer for Paige Evans and Silhouette and what's the name? I can never remember the name of that dye club that everyone joins. Rococo. I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. I can't remember it. She's on all these design teams, right? Like serious ones, like Paige Evans. That's like working for Maggie Holmes, folks. Okay. So here's this serious designer, right, with this epically beautiful new binder mail. What does she do? She pulls out 3 of her beginner projects from 2016. 3 of them. And she takes us through them with all of their beginner-esque kind of qualities and points them out. Like she was saying at one point, like her fussy cutting was giving her OCD. It was triggering her OCD because she was like, I just cut a big circle. I didn't cut it out. Oh, I thought of you this morning as I was cutting this out, Lily. Oh, Lily. Hey, Lily. I swear to you, I thought of you because I was like, oh, girl, I feel you because I was tempted and I still have to go in and fussy cut this thing in the middle. I have to take breaks to do this, folks, because I don't have any Disney ephemera. So clearly I had to fussy cut this for you-know-who. Miss Mama Loves Disney. And I managed to do the ear. I managed to do Eeyore's hair. Look at that little fine hair, guys. I fussy cut that. But now I got to go in here, but I had to take a break because my hands were hurting. And for that, I'm using these like really fine tip scissors. These were inexpensive from the Hobby Lobby, and they are better. But I have to keep sharpening them, guys. They get dull so fast because I want to show you guys this. Oh, hold on for a second. I should have had it. Oh, there it is. So I want to show you this. So they don't have chipboard like we have chipboard, but from the Office Depot that carries art supplies here, they do have this. And basically it's like recycled paper pressed down like a chipboard, but it's much flimsier. And you can cut it with a regular scissor. Like you don't have to use special equipment. In some ways I like it better because you can cut it with a regular scissor. You could probably die cut this with a thicker blade. My scissors could cut this. I mean, I would dull my blade, but my scissors could cut this. But you can use a regular scissor. However, let me show you what it does. Because it's just inexpensive board, do you see this? That's not from fussy cutting. That's flaking. So it's just pressed down. So when you cut it, it doesn't create a clean line. Do you see that? So like if I cut with this scissor, it's okay. It cut a clean line. But my other scissors, it leaves this kind of thing. And then you have to go along and trim it like a haircut, like this, to make it straight again. And even then you can see it gets this kind of like weird kind of haircutty thing going on, like little hair pieces. So, but this is what I use to back up here because it's perfect. It takes regular stickers or cut aparts like this and transforms them into chipboard, which is important because I don't have any chipboard here. So when I'm making cards or memdexes and I need chipboard, this is perfect. So I use this, but it's hard to work with. And worse is that when I glue. So what's interesting is that if I art glitter glue with this, sometimes it buckles because it's so liquidy, whereas the Helmer's 450 works perfectly. But folks, I'm low on the Helmer's 450 and Frank Garcia Studios is out of it. He's sold out. And so the problem is this, Helmer's won't ship to me here direct. It's much cheaper. Lori Ritchie was right, folks. It is much cheaper to order Helmer's 450 direct from Helmer's. It's like 1/3 of the price. But Frank can ship to me here. So I wrote in and I was like, I need more Helmer's. And they're like, we're sold out. So folks, what I have left is what I have left and I gotta save it for fabric. Because other than black tulle, it's the best thing I got here. So I have to use the art glitter glue, but it makes this buckle sometimes. So then I have to work really hard at straightening it. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm learning to be more precise despite these sort of conditions. And I think Crafty Michelle is right. I'm gonna leave here a better maker because of all of this. I really believe that. But let's get back to Lily's video because that's really what this is about. So folks, Lily pulls out her 3 beginner projects, and one of them is Halloween, from 2016. And she shows us them one at a time in detail, just like she would one of our submissions to her contest or like something we've mailed her. And folks, she tells us when she's going crazy with her OCD because she's like, look at this. She also explains that back then things were much simpler. You didn't sew back then. You didn't layer up vellum and acetate. We didn't have shaker pouches. And so a simpler creation, like she showed us this mini pocket lighter that she built that's super cute, actually, really nice, clean, and simple. But she said, like, today she couldn't send that out. Even though it's actually well made, and for a beginner, extremely well made, it still wouldn't be good enough today. So that was interesting, that there's a shift in the marketplace, that what used to stand as being decent no longer would be okay, like it's not layered enough, which is kind of nuts that it's changed that much. But she took us through and showed us all of these projects. Now, I'll tell you something. She didn't do that for her good. I know myself. When I look back at that first lot of stuff I sent Lily, I cringe. And that video is up forever. Okay? I cringe. So I can't imagine Lily, the expert maker, pulling out 3 beginner projects and being like, this is what I started as. So why did she do it? Why go through that painful experience? She did it for us. She did it so that we would know that she too began somewhere. And, those of us that have been watching Lily since we came on, we've also gone through her archive of videos. We know she's only been doing this seriously for about 4 years. Now, the truth is Lily's been a maker her whole life. That's very clear. Okay, for those of us that teach art at school, I can tell you Lily's been a maker her whole life. It's like in her soul. It's in her spirit. But still, she's only been working at this professionally or assertively or devoting a serious amount of time to it for 3 or 4 years now. And look what she can do. That was why she wanted to make that video. She wanted us to see that with hard work, tenacity, practice, the right tools, we too may be able to get there. Now, I'm never going to be a clean, precise creator like Miss Lily. I'm trying something right now. You have no idea, guys. Okay, I'm packaging up for Alicia Love Letter Generation and Crafty Michelle something. And folks, I keep saying in my head, okay, Alicia, don't overdo it. They're both super simple, clean creators. It's like I have to hold my hand down. Because I want to layer it all up. And I'm like, no, they'll never use it. They'll never use it because they like clean, simple, one piece. And it's like, it's a struggle for me. So I am never going to be like Lily. I'm never going to make that gorgeous binder mail that she made. Nope. Alicia's stuff is always going to be a hoplop. They call it hoplop here in the Holy Land. Isn't that a funny word? Hoplop. Hoplop means a little chaotic. That's always going to be my style. That's who I am. Right? I'm kind of chaotic. I'm a chaotic maker. Kind of like my hair. I guess I make like my hair. So I'm never going to be Lily. Never going to be clean and simple like Lily or Alicia Love Letter Generation or Anne. I love that work, but that's just not going to be who I am. I'm going to be the girl that layers up 50 times. Hopefully one day I'll be good at it like Aria, the Paper Treasury, or Tony Craft Purge, or Shara Crane. Maybe I'll be good like that one day, but who knows? We're a long way off from there. That said, what she made this video for was so that we could see where she started. And we could say, okay, now her beginner projects are excellent for beginner projects, but still, I told you she has a natural artistic spirit. You can see that in her, right? She's a born maker. I know we always say people are not born with glue guns in their diapers, but folks, there are some people that just are, okay? That are just naturally inclined that way, and others of us have to work at it. I am a creative visionary, meaning like I can create in my brain what something should look like, but then ask me to make it, and I have to work really hard. I can design, but that's very different than making. Those are 2 different skill sets. And at college where I teach, that's 2 different majors, right? Because what you see up here, you can't necessarily create. Before I was a professor, I worked for an ad agency, and I did tons of designing, tons, huge campaigns, national campaigns across the country. I'm good at that, but I didn't have to make those things. I had a team of artists that made those things. That's what I'm good at. I used to be a creative director. So, there's a big difference between envisioning and making. Those are 2 different skill sets, and Lily has both. So she wants us to see, this is where I started making. Once I practiced, I got the right tools, and I worked really hard at it, this is what I became. And that's so that we look at it and we say, well, maybe one day too, this is possible. That is super generous. I don't know a lot of experts that would have done this. It's like pulling out that pimple you had when you were 11 and being like, look at this, look at this. Or here's my picture when I was 12 with me full of braces, you know? That's the kind of thing that was. And she did that out of the kindness of her heart. Again, I'm going to tell you, her beginner projects, especially her Halloween one, was really good for a beginner. But still, for her today, when you put that next to her binder mail, you see this rocket ship growth, right? And it's really inspiring, which is what she wanted it to be. So I had to do this video and say a special thank you to Lily. That is a generous person who does this for us. And as always, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for Lily and Crafting with Liller for all the reasons I've shared here before. But this was uber generous, folks. I'm putting the video down below. Go take a look at where Lily started, and then I'm putting also her binder mail down below, and take a look where she is today. And what Lily's trying to tell us is one day that may be us. One day. All right, folks, I'm going off to make now. Take care. See you later.